Hi YouTube, please give me a moment while I connect to Facebook. We'll be getting started shortly. All right, I think we should be live on Facebook. Hi everybody, welcome to our weekly broadcast. I am Sami, Director of Education at T3 Live. Hope you're doing well. Hope your weekend is off to start. We're gonna get started and talk about the market. We'll talk about some swing ideas, but before we start, as always, standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss in this video is for educational purposes only. If you're new to our channel, please be sure to download the free ebook. Link for that is in the description. But without further ado, let's get started. We'll begin, as we always do, by reviewing the market charts, and then we'll go over the watch list. The complete watch list, these are just the items that I'm going to review with you, but the complete watch list is in the video description. As always, if you find benefit, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you have any questions, leave a comment or send us an email, info@t3live.com. Okay, so here we go. The market seems to have topped out. We talked about in last week's video that we needed to break, or was the week before, I think. We needed to break this bar's low, and we did. And then we seem to be putting in lower highs, lower lows, but we don't know yet. Okay, so here it is. You could say those are equal highs, right? Or one lower high, maybe one lower low, or two lower lows. We don't know yet. What we need to see happen is we need to take out this double top bottom that formed here before we have a downtrend, or we need to go back above the prior high before we can say, no, we're back to bullish. Ultimately, when you're getting a pullback, or when you're getting the start of a downtrend, you always want to have two red bars in a row. So two red bars in a row, like so. Now you might say, well, isn't that a red bar? Isn't that a red bar? Yeah, I mean, the first one is barely a red bar. This is more of a narrow range bar. So we want to have two red bars in a row. Likewise, when you're looking at an uptrend, you want to have two green bars in a row. So we don't have two red bars in a row to confirm the downtrend yet. And we also double bottom, so we really need to take out Friday's low, okay, before we are in a downtrend. Now, what do I think personally? Are we going back up and resuming the uptrend and taking out that prior high, or are we more likely to go down and start a downtrend? Down. I think it's much more likely than to go back up, because we tried to go up. Here it is. We broke down, right? And then we tried to go up, and then we failed. So I think the proof now, I think now it's going to be much harder for bulls to go back up and take out the prior high, which they failed to already do. So it's much more likely, in my opinion, to go lower. But in order to, to be sure about it, we need to take out the prior lows. Okay? We need to take out Friday's low and hopefully start to get at least two consecutive red bars in a row. That's the cues. The SPY is going to look similar, a little bit stronger actually. IWM looks different, but as you can see, the IWM is showing the clearest break of the uptrend. Look at that, right? We're clearly breaking down. We double topped, lower high, lower low, right, than the previous lows. The other thing to keep in mind, and I've been saying this for a while, and I say it in the room all the time, Bitcoin always leads the market. At least ever since I started watching it for the last 10 plus years, has always been ahead of the market. If you look at the, 2018 top, the 2020 top, the 2021 or 2022 top, it always was ahead of the market. And Bitcoin topped out way before the market did. In fact, the market continued to make new highs while Bitcoin was nowhere near the prior high. And finally, the market seems to be following suit, so following Bitcoin. So if you look at the chart of Bitcoin, it doesn't look, it doesn't look good. We still have more downside to go, in my opinion. So to me, it's much more likely that the market would not exactly do what Bitcoin is doing, which is a mini crash, but would roll over and continue to come in as opposed to go back up and resume the uptrend. That's my opinion. On to the swing ideas that I have lined up for the week. We have the GOSS, which is a weekly buy setup. This stock was featured in my last week's video, but it never triggered until over here. And now it has another entry over last week's high, over 277. Okay, looks good. Again, it triggered already, but not in it. Looks higher to 350. The PALI looks amazing, but it may need to base for a little bit more because it's not a tight base, but ultimately looks really, really nice if it can take out about 330, I think 328 to be exact. Looks really nice. I just hope it bases for a bit longer. Okay, the PALI. TNDM is very bullish also. We're starting to look at bullish, long, stop. Target is going to be limited. I mean, is that the target? I think so. I mean, I think that's going to be the next major resistance area, which means it's the next target area around 2250 on the TNDM. And then VFF, surprisingly, really strong. It needs to base, but if you look at the monthly, that's a nice monthly chart, especially if we can spend the rest of November going sideways. The next month over 392, stop under 270, and then room to $6 on the VFF. That's a marijuana stock. Okay, the shorts, which are better. Okay, I have 3 calls for Monday. I already completed the newsletter. All 3 are going to be short. Okay. BAM, BAM, 1, 2, 3 looks beautiful. Under 51 by 52. 51 by 51.91. So call it 52. Target, maybe 48, maybe a little bit more. It really is going to depend on what the market does. We'll see what the market does next week. Disney, which I was bullish on because it looked like the monthly was turning the corner. If you look at the monthly chart, it looked like it was doing a buy setup, was going to go up. It gapped down on earnings. I didn't play it, but it gapped down on earnings. And now this is too big of a bar. So I have this strategy that I absolutely love. The igniting bar, the narrow range bar, and the continuation lower. You can see it on the first chart right here. That's a good chart. Disney is similar, but Friday's bar is not very small. So if Disney can base around 105, somewhere near the bottom, about 105, my goodness, it looks low. It has room to fall. It has room to 100. I mean, has a lot more room than that if the market decides to really sell off. So on Disney, but it's not quite, I don't feel it's quite ready yet. The DUOL looks lower under this bar's low, which is 182. Stop over 193. IRDM, the whole chart looks lower, but I would love to see it base for a couple more days so that the base gets tighter. The tighter the base is, the better follow through that I would expect to get when there's a tight base. The LRN, that's a nice little base on the LRN daily chart. So short, the longer it is, the better also, but it's a tight base. Stop right here. NSP is already kind of going, but does look lower still. Short under 32, looks like 32.60. Stop over 35.12. WRBY, daily sell setup, looks good under 16.77, 78. Stop over 17.91. Target maybe the prior low, which is 15. And then the WWW, similar to WRBY, looks lower under 15.18 with a big stop over 17.34. Again, if you want to get the complete watch list, it is in the video description. But those are the ones that I wanted to go over with you because I think these are the most ready to go come Monday. All right, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button. And again, reach out if you have any questions or need help. info@t3live.com. Thank you all and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care.